What high school conspiracy turned out to be true at your school? Junior year, we got this new English teacher named Mr. Dalton. From day one, something felt weird about him. While everyone else was falling over themselves talking about how cool he was, I kept my mouth shut and watched. He let kids sleep during class, handed out candy like Halloween, and told these crazy stories about backpacking through Europe. Half the time we just watched Netflix instead of reading books. Every other teacher at school looked miserable, but this guy acted like he was running summer camp. But here's what bothered me. I sit in the front row of every class because I actually care about my grades, and I notice things. His handwriting looked different every day. Sometimes he wrote in cursive, sometimes print, sometimes these weird block letters. And when kids asked him questions about basic English stuff, he'd change the subject or make a joke. One day, I was walking past the main office and saw the secretary hanging up class schedules. I stopped and scanned the list for his name. Nothing. I asked her where Mr. Dalton's class was listed, and she got this confused look on her face like she had no idea who I was talking about. That's when I really started paying attention. I checked the teacher parking lot every morning for 3 weeks straight. All the other teachers had those little parking permits hanging from their mirrors, but Mr. Dalton's beat-up Honda didn't have one. Teachers aren't supposed to park in student spots, but nobody seemed to care. I followed him after school one day, staying way back so he wouldn't notice. Instead of going to the teacher parking lot, he walked 2 blocks away to this sketchy white van parked on a side street. He got in and drove off. What kind of teacher drives a different car to work than they drive home? The breaking point came during parent-teacher conferences. My mom wanted to meet all my teachers, so we made appointments. When we got to the office and asked to see Mr. Dalton, the secretary stared at us like we were speaking a foreign language. She flipped through her appointment book twice and finally said there was no teacher by that name at our school. My mom thought I was pranking her until I brought her to his classroom. The door was locked and there was no nameplate. When we found the principal and asked about it, she looked genuinely confused and said they'd look into it. I convinced my best friend Jake to help me break into his classroom during lunch the next day. The door was unlocked, which should have been our first warning sign. Real teachers lock their rooms when they leave. We went straight to his desk and started going through the drawers. Instead of normal teacher stuff like red pens and gradebooks, we found a stack of fake homework assignments with made-up student names. But the really scary part was this notebook filled with detailed notes about different kids in our school. It had stuff like what time Emma Peterson left school every day, which house belonged to Marcus Chen's family, and notes about whose parents had nice cars. There were even sketches of the school layout with exit doors marked. One page had a list of parent phone numbers with dollar amounts written next to them. Jake found a folder marked fundraising ideas with fake flyers for school events that didn't exist, charity runs, school improvement drives, even a fake trip to Washington, D.C. that would cost families $500 each. I took pictures of everything with my phone and called the police right from the classroom. By the time they got to school, Mr. Dalton was gone. His Honda was still in the parking lot, but the white van had disappeared. It took the cops a week to track him down. Turns out his real name was David Kowalski, and he was a con artist who'd been running scams in 3 different states. He'd been posing as a substitute teacher to get close to families and steal information for identity theft. The fundraising events were just his next scheme to rip off parents for thousands of dollars. The school district tried to keep it quiet, but word got out fast. Half the parents in town sued the school for not doing proper background checks. They fired the principal and 2 people in the main office. My mom said I probably saved dozens of families from getting robbed.